Evening. Hello. How are we? Hope everyone's well. Bear with me. I'm streaming on 2 platforms today. This is the test, really. How are we? Good to see some people in though. I know it is a Good Friday, bank holiday, whatever you want to know it as. I need to know though from you guys, can you hear me? A new microphone, first time I've done a live on it. I may need to adapt the volume a little bit. We'll see. But yeah, I am also on Twitch as well, just to see what it's like, to see how it works as well. So 2 platforms at once. But if you're on YouTube, slap the like button. If you're on Twitch, say hello. I will try and cater for both. But we will talk about non-farm payroll, and we'll talk about just what's happening next, really. What could happen new quarter. Thought I'd just do a little live. I'm unsure if to do dedicated random lives on Twitch or on YouTube or both. So this is the test, really, to see if they both work. But I'm glad everyone can hear me. This microphone is 10 times better than my other one. Now I've figured out how to work it with post-edit. I've figured it all out, which is good. So it's no longer boomy, bassy, which is good. Anyways, non-farm payroll, a non-event today, as expected, really. US stock market is closed. Fair enough. The FX market is still kind of running and functioning, and so is crypto, obviously. But the forecast essentially, very, very similar. The more interesting point for me personally was the fact that the actual unemployment rate has dropped again a little bit. So it seems to be between 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6, and it keeps going up and down in that sort of sequence. If you want a recession, we need this to go higher. It's not. It's actually gone down. So that's interesting. I wasn't expecting that today when I was looking at the data. So yes, very, very interesting. But yeah, we'll see how things do go. But yeah, other things to look at for the following few weeks. Obviously, we have, I think CPI is on the 13th, or have I just made that up? No, I've not made it up. It is on the 12th, sorry. So core CPI and stuff. So guess what I'm doing on the 12th? We're live. Yeah, love a good CPI thing, live stream. But what they're expecting is some monstrous kind of, like, so far, well, we'll see. Sometimes this data kind of fades us a little bit, like literally a few days after, the following week. So what we are on the 7th. So we'll see for the main forecast. But yeah, year on year, 5.6. We'll see. We'll see how things go. Could be fun. But yeah. Anyways, anyone got any questions? Feel free to chuck any in. If you're new around here, feel free to like the live. I don't do many lives, so I might as well just ask you to press the button. You know, I know you can't do it on Twitch, but you can do it on YouTube at least. Anyways, let's talk about the market. Currently, not looking rosy, not looking great, but it is somewhat incredibly boring. So this is what I've got on my chart. I've had this on my chart for a long, long time now. This. Hit this level, we're pulled back a little bit, and we went for a little run. Didn't go much further than that little run though, did we? Unfortunate, but when we start to like zone out and zoom out and look at stuff with a obvious kind obvious situation, is the fact that we are incredibly sideways. So when we look at this sort of situation and in between this sort of area, we are in a very clear and obvious range. So what does that mean, boys and girls? That means you shouldn't really be trading. If you're swing trading, that should be range-bound trading if you're on the scalp side of it. But I'm a higher time frame kind of impulsive kind of individual. But yeah, I usually don't go for this level, but on Bitcoin, I tend to like it because it is a significant level that tends to react. We've not rent and retest it again. So it's interesting to see where these body closures have been, especially on the 2-day time frame. We actually closed above these levels and we've failed. Are we going to just find a level of demand around here somewhere and just send us? Don't know yet. We'll see. But it seems very, very stubborn. Very, very stubborn, this price action. It feels like we are waiting on... I don't know what's happening right now. It's like we're waiting on something and I don't quite know what it is. A catalyst maybe. But we've also got to look at the past. April, I think, is usually a decent month for Bitcoin. And then we have the situation of selling may go away, isn't it? You know, that sort of thing is like, okay, we'll see how things do go in that situation. But yeah, this is one of those things, isn't it? So let's have a look. Hold on. Bitcoin, what I'm looking for here, price, monthly. I can't remember what it's called actually. What I tend to look for, historic data. I don't think this is going to give me what I want. Ah, yes, it will. Monthlies. Give me it. I don't think it will, though. I can't remember what I go for now. Should have had it all prepped. But either way, though, I don't think it really matters because the market will do whatever hell it wants. But yeah, we just got to look at the figures here. The figures are not looking great in terms of everything happening. In terms of dominance, it's still here. Again, similar sort of situation. It's like, are we going to do something? Are we going to really go for it? Are we going to run to the upside? Are we going to melt? Melt would be good, obviously, for the market. And you know, I've talked about this quite a lot. The melting of the BTC dominance is going to be hugely important. Alongside with this, continuing this downtrend. We're in downtrend here, right? It's a very, very clear and obvious downtrend. We pulled down massively, broke a structure, pulled in, created a lower high, and then we've created a new low, right? That's vital for the trend bias of what we're looking at, right? However, dominance going up makes it a lot harder to look at that sort of situation and that kind of factoring in of what's happening. And that's because BTC has been smashing all the altcoins, even today, even still. Yes, we've had some little taps, but most of the things are kind of like looking pretty shite. Not great. So yeah, we've got to look at that. But I've said it before, we want Bitcoin to stand still if Altseason is going to come. If Altseason does come, when it comes, if it comes, why it comes, and all kinds of situations is always apparent in terms of a catalyst, it'll be good. But we're still waiting. We're still waiting on that situation. So it's a bit of an annoying one. Because Bitcoin, as I've said before, has been ranging for what, 2-3 weeks now, easily. So yeah, we're just waiting for that. In terms of other things, in terms of the data and the information that came out today, the dollar did kind of rally up a little bit this mid-afternoon when the non-farm payroll came out, but nothing massive. You know, when we're looking at this situation here, it looks pretty ugly, really, when you think about it. The dollar is getting weaker. A weak dollar is good for Bitcoin, obviously. A strong gold is good for Bitcoin. I've been talking about this for ages now. You know, you probably would have caught some analysis on other streams that I've done before. If you're in Patreon or if you're in Learning Crypto, I've been talking about this. What does Bitcoin do when this bounces? And look what's happened. Vroom. The problem is we've kind of desynced a little bit from this because, as I've said before, BTC has been ranging. We've caught the first part of the move. Second part of it, we haven't. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen next. Are whales suppressing the price of Bitcoin? Are people accumulating? What's happening? We don't know. And we're just sat here waiting for something to happen. So yeah, right now, it's not looking bearish. It's not looking bullish. It's sideways. But either way, though, I would still class this as being bullish anyways, realistically, right? So forget about the narrative of, oh, we need to go lower, oh, macro, oh, recession. The fact that Bitcoin has held up here for so long is quite good, and the fact that gold's done what it's done, in fact that the dollar index is dropping as well as the fact that the S&P 500, even though this is currently futures right now, is still in chop mode realistically, right, at this level. So yeah, it's like, sweet, you know, tickety boo. You know, I know a lot of people thinking a recession's happening. I personally, at the minute, the data is telling us that we may miss it just. There probably will be one at some point, but until unemployment really changes, I'm not really going to say, yeah, we're going to get one, because that's one of the biggest factors, really. So if we start seeing that unemployment rate creep up, yeah, I start to get a little bit worried. But right now, yeah, we're okay. We're fine. We're okay. So yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Anyways, what we got in terms of questions, we've got quite a few on YouTube. It's nice and quiet today. I did think that today would be nice and quiet because it is a bank holiday, certainly in the UK and around the world because it is Good Friday. Thought I'd take advantage of using this to test out some stuff. So, had a result with Swarm Markets, made 3x on initial bag. It's decent, to be fair. Can't go wrong with making money on an initial investment and pulling out your money and leaving a moon bag in. Volatility is extreme low levels. So yeah, I agree with that one as well. You got to look at the VIX as well. The VIX is telling us a story. So when it's low, obviously that's obviously the index of the volatility, and we've had a bit of volatility recently. So when it's low, look out below. We tend to bounce or something tends to happen, right? When it's high, it's kind of like free running and time to buy sort of thing. It's a weird kind of metric, I don't know. But yeah, when it's low, you always got to look out and wait for something to happen. The same with like Bollinger Bands and looking at even the volatility index of Bitcoin. It is low. and the fear and greed has also stood still. If I go into Learning Crypto website and I go over to the fear and greed, 64, we've been sat around 64, 62, 61, whatever for the last few weeks since that. Whereas we used to be down here for 8. I remember being down here for ages. Oh, it's great, just keep buying. And now we're kind of in this situation. So, you know, maybe we do get a snap back. Maybe we do get that big correction down to, like, say, this level, this 25k level, and catch people out. Certainly when you look at the obvious of, like, you know, new people coming to the market. I don't think there's enough new people in the market. Personally, I don't think there's enough people in the market yet. I don't think that hype's there. There was a little bit of hype when Dogecoin became the Twitter symbol for some weird ass reason. But other than that, it's like, is it kind of just a believer's rally? But markets go up, markets go down, right? We always have corrections, and this has been a big upside move. So even when we're looking at the stable currency dominance here right now, we are still quite away from this EMA. Wouldn't surprise me if we retested that. If we retested that, we have pulled back a little bit. So yeah, we'll be absolutely fine, essentially. But yeah, we'll see how things do go. But personal belief, even if we do correct, I still think it'll be bought up. I think there is a bit of belief now in the ecosystem of Bitcoin versus what it was like, say, a year ago. Can I ask a dumb question? If I sell into BTC with my alt pair, I owe taxes assuming profit, and then I sell that BTC for USD in the future. You only take profits as a combined factor. So if you make a win or make a loss, it'll be factored in, right? So if you got losses or gains in that move, yes, you will pay taxes, right? You don't pay it twice, though, right? So it's just a combination of what you do in terms of moving. You've got to be careful, though, because obviously if you do, say, sell, I don't know, say you bought something for like 10 sats and then you sold it again for 60 sats and you've made a 5x give or take. Yeah, you're gonna make some money on that in terms of USD value potentially, and also obviously BTC value. However, the sums all amalgamate into one. So like me, I think I did my tax yesterday because it's the 7th of April, 6th of April I'll do it. I had a shit day yesterday, so whoopsie, I'm wrecking the place. So I was at a funeral yesterday and I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do my tax return. I might as well get it over and done with. And I did 1,558 transactions in the course of 12 months, right? So that's me buying and selling, moving stuff around, transactions from staking, transactions from other rewards, all that kind of stuff that's like just coming into me and going out, right? They're all amalgamated into one big off fucking sum, right? Whether it's how many gains you've made in that year, how many losses you've made in that year, and then it'll tell you what you owe, right? So I wouldn't worry about paying it twice. For me personally, depending on your country, in the UK it's not too bad, but I know in Germany you can hold it for a year and you're tax free and other stuff like that. And certainly in America it's very different, but you've got to check your own tax laws. However, I am not afraid to take profit because I'd rather make money than worry about the tax. My tax bill was crap, but not as bad as the previous year for obvious reasons. We've been in a bear market. I've not made as much money in terms of the open market this year because the market's been going down. I've been buying and accumulating positions. However, ask me maybe in 2 years' time and a year's time, my new tax bill might be awful because I've probably bought the lows and maybe sold higher. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that'd be good. But yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the tax side of it. But you do need to do the obvious of buy low, sell high. And yeah, you will pay taxes along the way regardless. The more tax you pay, the better you're doing, essentially, which sounds a bit daft to say that, but that's kind of the rule of thumb, really. But yeah, all amalgamates into one big clump, so it's not too bad. So sometimes I do offset losses. So say, for example, some of the positions that I've had, and I bought them a bit high because I was a bit stupid, I'll sell them at the bottoms and think, bollocks to it. I can write it off in a tax because you pay less tax overall. And then if you like it again, you just rebuy it back low. So yeah, don't worry about it. But yeah, get on to the one that I recommend is Coinly, certainly in the UK. You've got to be careful though with certain wallets because it will duplicate stuff. So they're very easy to find the duplicates because it will come in as a reward instead of like a withdrawal or transfer. Honestly, it's brilliant. When do you expect Glimmer to start moving? Yeah, so I think, bear with me, I think January. We've got, see, it's still relatively high. However, thus been said, when we start looking, oh dear, go away. Oh, why is that right there? There we go, we can see it. So literally from January onwards, we start to get a lot flatter. So I reckon the start of the year, Start of the new year, we'll get a little bit flatter. It will still gradually increase a little bit, not back, nowhere near as aggressive though. So yeah, the emissions will be out of the way. So in November time, if you join the crowd loan, you'll get your dot back, which is good for obvious reasons. But the fundamentals of the token unlock, we're getting lower now. So yeah, but it's held up well. I still think this is a nice accumulation zone. But when you look at like Moonbeam itself, and when you look at like, say for example, you look on the website, and you obviously the website's not great, but there is some like really good. Bear with me. Where is it? There we go, downtown. So this website here is a really good website to see what's actually happening physically on the network. You see, like, there's a lot of things actually growing here. The projects are going much higher now. The wallets are like that. Like the amount of people getting wallets now on Moonbeam ecosystem is getting bigger and bigger. There's a lot more like websites and data for this, but I've not actually. I don't know if I can find it. If it's gonna end up on here or something. Bear with. I don't think I can. Maybe. No. I don't know where it is, but there is a link somewhere that tells you. Oh, hold on a minute. Can we get the Moonbeam one? Here we go. Boom. I think I found it. Should really bookmark this. Oh, piss off. But yeah, there is a literal kind of thing. I can't remember what the website is now. But yeah, basically, the whole wallets are going up. They're going through the roof, man. The transactions are going up. So you can see the accounts here. That's quite a lot, realistically. The transactions are getting bigger. The gas fee is not too bad. That's, by the way, a Moonbeam, so it's very, very different. So yeah, it's doing pretty well. But yeah, overall, you can see that there's some monstrous things. But yeah, I will try and find that link at some point. But yeah, it's getting there. Slowly does it. The websites with APIs are great, especially if they do. Yeah, my God, the unbelievable amount of what do you call it? APIs that are required. It's unbelievable, but it does work. With a tax loss harvesting, don't you need to wait? Yeah, you need to wait. You don't just do it. You don't just do it one day, then do it the next. I do it like, if I know that I'm going to do one, I then stop buying for a while. Or certainly that asset again if I'm going to, but usually I would just do like a random just loss, and I think, oh well, whoop-de-doo. Maybe it's usually because I'm not that turned on by it, realistically. But yeah, sometimes it does work. It worked in my favor with a few assets in the previous bull cycle because my bill would have been astronomical, but I also had some losses from some silly moves that I did, and I bought stuff and I just went, oh, balls, and I forgot about it. I was like, oh shit, oopsie. You know, when you forget things on exchanges randomly. Yeah, that was me. I found like, was it 0.4 BTC on, it was on OKX, and it was like, I can't even remember what it was. It was like a amalgamation. I think it was KSM, something else, something random. I had like 3 random tokens, and it was like 0.4 BTC, and I was thinking to myself, wow, when did I do this? And I looked back, it was like, I put it in like September 2021. So, oh fuck, and I got it out like May 2022. It was like, fuck's sake. I'm selling that then, definitely. But yeah, I was looking at the data yesterday, and it looked to me like whales are offloading at 15 and 16k. And they're offloading now. It depends on what you class as a whale, really, because what I've noticed, and the interesting data, certainly when you look at the whales, is the wallets are increasing, the hash rate of the miners is increasing as well. And it just seems like they're not too bad, you know, with the data. There's a lot of things happening, though, that would indicate that they may want to rebuy back low. But right now, like, this doesn't look, in my opinion, when you look at the charts, this doesn't look like distribution yet, because we've never had enough pumpage over that. Oh yeah, we've obviously had this, but you don't normally, this looks more like accumulation. Usually where distribution tend to go up, then pull back, and then push back in, and then go lower, and then you sucker people in. We've not really suckered, I don't think we've suckered people in yet, and we're not suckered them late bulls in. And I thought, like I did say that we would teleport from this point, but this would have been the time to just dump it, but they haven't. It's just sat here. It's like, ew, it's a bit odd. So yeah, it doesn't feel like distribution just yet. If this kept on going higher and we started getting some decent structure, because when you zoom out and you look at it, it's like, it's just ranging. I mean, even if whales are selling, someone's buying. Someone's buying not too far away from these bidding prices, realistically, which is like, okay, cool. What about Moonwell? I've never looked at Moonwell ever. Not a clue what it is. It'll probably be on here somewhere. Moon Sama looks decent, to be fair, and all those kind of ones regarding that side of it with terms of NFTs, but I'm not really that turned on by NFTs, to be fair. But yeah, Moonwell, let's have a little look. The thing is, right, and this is a really good thing to talk about, it'll be interesting to see how big this ecosystem gets, like the entire one. I think it'd be brilliant to see, because it's so close and leveraged with Ethereum and the virtual machine. It's competition, right? It is genuine competition, and if you've ever used Moonbeam, it's brilliant, and it's so quick, it's so efficient, it's seamless. It doesn't cost you an arm and a leg to get your money in and out, and it's not much of a ball ache neither. So these DeFi protocols will be very, very interesting to see how they do. I am keeping a little bit of an eye on what's like happening in terms of the ecosystem, but not enough to kind of know them all off by heart yet, which is a hard part, because the problem with a growing ecosystem, you can see it here. We've got 320 already, and a lot of them are existing platforms, obviously, like Curve, Lido, etc., and even like Talisman Wallet. But there's a lot of new things coming out which are random as hell. But eventually, over time, you'll get used to them, which will be fine. We're going to 15k. Probably not. Probably not. I don't think. Personally, I don't think 15k will happen unless something genuinely breaks. Like, say if Binance gets fucking raided and like they're forced to shut down or something like that. That would be a catalyst to go down lower than 15k. Or if like Tether gets whatever happens to Tether these days. You know, Tether's like the leading light at the minute, isn't it, in terms of stablecoins? So it's all those what ifs and maybes, isn't it, realistically? But when we're at 27, 28k and you think, 15k, let's get to 25 first. Forsen looks out, not looked at it for a while, so I don't know. I'm not really into NFT sort of ecosystems. I think it's a bit shite right now anyways. I don't tend to offer my opinions on many coins, by the way, so I will probably ignore them, really. Just because I'm a man with a set of glasses and I look at the same data as you. Bearish divergence on BTC daily over this consolidation range. Yeah. I can imagine it would be a bearish divergence, even though I've not got the RSI on. When we look at the... Let's have a little gander. Oh, yeah. I can see that. I can see that pretty clear. If you don't know what I'm on about, this is going down, price is going up, equals bearish divergence. However, thus been said, are we going to go down to 25k and then retest that big juicy level to then send us lower to potentially 32, 34, 31, around this kind of boxy area? So the bullish scenario for me, well, I wouldn't say the bullish scenario, I'd say the healthy scenario would be we retest these levels, this level here. Maybe go a little bit lower, depends on the volatility, depends on how many late bulls are getting, shafted. But that could be the continuation of the trend up to this point. We could go much higher, by the way, but I'm not going to go that far. But yeah, 28k could be interesting, but we've got to look left as well. This is like a nice juicy level. It has been in the past for a long, long time. So 30k, 32k could be juicy. Juicy. But we'll see. Yeah, I'm feeling the same about it. The only problem we've got is how many people are trapped, how many people are stuck from the previous bull cycle. We had this in this previous cycle where we went up so far, and then we literally killed ourselves because people got too impatient. They wanted to take their money and run. The market's a bit different. I think last time it was different because of the ICO boom. It was very, very fast. It was very, very inflated. It was very weird. Where we're not really had that. We've got a lot of tokens bleeding emissions right now, which is fair enough. But the reality is quite simple. We need to see where we go next, because I'm bored of waiting. It's the annoying thing as well. The problem you got with it. How do I explain this? We don't know what's going to happen realistically with the whole entire ecosystem of the financial industry. And as much as I want it to do whatever it wants to do, your content dries up and you get bored of it, and you do. And it's a weird thing because financial education, financial content, financial analyst sort of stuff, it should be boring. I think a lot of people have been spoiled in crypto with it being so volatile and for so long. And yes, it does get boring, but the reality is we can't just expect it to do what we want it to do, which is kind of the whole point, really. But yeah, like I would love to see a 25k retest and then get some demand and go boom. Will it happen? Don't know. It depends. Depends on who's running the cartel of Binance. It depends who's buying. It depends on the news stories. And I do think, though, if we do breach 30k, I think a lot of people will start talking about Bitcoin again. Certainly on Bloomberg, certainly on Cointelegraph, etc., etc., etc. It'll get very, very buzzy very quickly. If you know anything about Telegraph's market tool, yes, I do. They've been emailing me for ages for me to promote them. I knew a lot of people getting paid a monthly fee to promote them. I've never used it. I got offered it to test it, and I just turned them down because I thought, well, what's the point? I specialize in using a lot of free services, so I use my own noggin by looking at CoinMarketCap. I would use the likes of Missouri. I'd even use, obviously, TradingView, which has a lot of free data. I don't see why I want to push and promote or be an advocate for something that you got to pay for. Again, investing's an expensive world, and it is. And like, this is why I keep my Patreon and my Learning Crypto subscriptions incredibly low, because when you start getting into the ilk of the subscription-based stuff for content and information and APIs and the right data, it starts adding up quickly. And I don't think people want to have like an X amount membership on something that you can get for free elsewhere. They're all APIs, all doing the same thing. So there's no real point, really. What else have we got? Do you think DOT will go under $5 again? Never say never. I mean, we're not that far away from it, let's be honest here. Now, this is one bad candle from Bitcoin away from doing that, in my opinion, anyways. I think if we look at the situation with the altcoin market and the high dominance is dangerous if Bitcoin melts. That's all I'm going to say, because it always is. When dominance is higher Bitcoin, it means altcoins are lower. And then, say, for example, if Bitcoin goes down and retests, say, 22k or 20k, DOT will be below $5. Simple as that, because DOT's Ethereum and BTC pairs are on the floor, right? So that would be a massive factor in terms of where the price will go. So Bitcoin has to hold up. If Bitcoin does not hold up, however, the caveat is, if dominance then drops like a stone and the altcoin to bounce off that somehow, it might be all right. But it depends on so many factors. Unbelievable. Yeah, probably blowing some brains there. What else have we got? People are still shilling BitGet. Oh, mate, that is the shadiest, crappiest exchange I've ever seen. I have never been harassed so much by a company in my entire life. I mean, I showed you the screenshots on Twitter. That was like email 8 of 8. And I replied on number 3 saying, please stop, I'm not interested. And they just kept badgering me. Oh, look, we're rank 3 on the volume. Oh, look at us, all these people have promoted us. Oh, look, we've just done a partnership with this football club. I couldn't give a monkey's toss. I don't want to promote you, mate. And then they were literally offering me, do you want a retainer? Do you want this? Do you want a football shirt? I don't care. Like, leave me alone. It's like, I was literally getting so annoyed thinking, wow, I just do content and I teach and I'm getting badgered by an exchange to promote them. If nothing screams red flag more than that, I don't know what does. And then we've got allegations that they're stealing people's money. Mental. But yeah, I only trust Bybit, really. Bybit, Binance I can trust enough to... But then again, I always say this, like, use and abuse exchanges. You got to think of it like Bogrel. You got to use it and then flush it down the chain, realistically, right? You got to buy your stuff. If you're going to trade, keep whatever amount on it. If you get too big and your account goes boom, take some money out as well. Don't just let your account compound to the moon, because you will get wrecked at some point. Because you don't want exchanges to hold your money, which is not good. But yeah, all good fun. Stack them sets, guys. Do you think XRP will pump? Potentially. I think XRP... I know XRP gets a lot of bad rap, but it's all right. I mean, the problem is the community. You can't really help that. A lot of them aped in when it was really high and they're stuck with it and they're trying to shill it like buggery. But if you've ever used XRP, it's actually really efficient. It's really cheap. It's actually all right. We personally, in terms of crypto, we needed to win. If that can win, which I don't know if it will prove to us that we can go toe to toe with the SEC. We need that for the entire ecosystem. We've got to also think, right. And this is the thing that annoys me with crypto as well. Like it happens to me all the time. Like if people go, oh wow, you're holding DOT, lovely, and then someone from another chain will just come and abuse you because you're not holding their coin. It's like we're all on the same like mission here, all on the same kind of goal to like just kind of get this decentralization, the good interoperable software or use case payment mechanisms, whatever you want to call it as. We're all on the same team realistically, right? But people are just assholes really, so kind of annoys me. When is the next big bull run? Don't know. When we get out of this range, we might find out. I don't think it's going to come until halving, which is just under a year away. That's wrong. Bear with me. Oh, that can't be right. That hasn't changed, has it? Hold that thought. That was literally under a year in March the other day. So yeah, about a year away. We may well get some run-ins. We'll see. Depends if that information is correct. I don't think it is correct. We have got, what do you call it? Litecoin first. And then we've got all the other Bitcoins first as well. Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV. But we'll see how things go. But that's usually a good indicator to tell us what's going to happen next. Like Litecoin could be interesting. Any opinion on the Metis ecosystem? I was a holder of Metis. Not anymore. I sold it for ARB, and then I've sold ARB for something else now because that's a shower of shit as well. So yeah, I just wasn't really turned on by the Metis ecosystem. I think it'll do all right, but it just didn't tickle my fancy. I wanted other things, and I wanted to kind of have something that was a bit more excited about, and that was the reason why. I think it'll do all right though. I just don't think it'll. I don't know. I just think the layer 2 space is a bit. We'll see. It seemed a bit wishy-washy, and I'm not a fan of that. Oh mate, Rob, if we're gonna go into this ideal situation, speculation, obviously, April's usually okay for Bitcoin. If we have the situation of the May sale go away and it's summer holidays and everyone's on the lilos and dinghies for a bit, and it goes a bit flat for like 4 months in the middle of the year, which it usually does in terms of the traditional market anyways, it'd be nice if it does take off around that November, December, January time. I'll be really happy because that's usually when cryptocurrency is pretty strong anyways. Like we have Santa rallies and stuff. I know we had a Santa rally this year, but it was a bit late, and now we're still seeing the effects of that. But fingers crossed, that would be a really nice situation. If it happens, don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm not really that turned on by speculating too much, but it'd be quite a nice situation to have. I think this summer might be quite quiet though. I think a lot of people are data watching, so we'll see what happens with those unemployment rates, CPI data, see if they're going to keep coming down. Yeah, we should be all right. But no, it's all good. Thoughts on Gal? Don't know what that is, to be fair. I don't tend to do many altcoin research things these days, by the way, so like I will probably say I have no idea, and I'll probably look at a coin and go, not a clue. I don't know if it's Galaxy, Galatasaray fan token, or Galleons, but yeah, there's no point asking me about opinions on cryptocurrencies. I only focus on the big coins, and the little coins that I do hold are kind of obvious anyways, really. I'm not overly hopeful for May. Depends on the data. If inflation still continues to come down, despite the balance sheet of the US Fed debt going up, could be interesting. What do you think about Ethereum? It's a scam coin, I think, Ethereum. I think it is a clear and obvious Ponzi scheme of some description. I will butcher it if you want, because I've already done it on my Patreon. I've used this as an example to prove to people how dodgy coins are, because one, the volume is $74,000. Two, the website is absolute dog turd. The team look like when you go on the team page? Bear with me. Where's the team page? Actually, how it works is just horrendous in itself. Look at this. It's just all fluff and all bollocks. It's in a WeWork office. Here we go. Where's the team? Give me the team. I think have they removed it? No. We've got a roadmap from June 2022. Really up to date. So yeah, this is not the sort of thing you want to buy, realistically. It doesn't fill me with any confidence. Oh yeah, this is the best page on the entire website. Our valuable partners. So we've got Microsoft, Randstad, IBM, Google Cloud, AWS. Yeah. Cool. A bit of a dodgy one, isn't it? Yeah, I wouldn't put my pennies in that, personally. It doesn't scream, I want to invest in that. But yeah, we should be all right. Sold to all-time high sometime, someday, some year, sometime. Maybe. Solana's an interesting one, though, because of what happened with FTX, so isn't it? When you think about Solana, right? And you look at this, looks horrible. Look at that. If nothing screams, oh my god, other than that, I don't know what does. I don't know if that'll go as all-time high again, personally. I think that's a run. I don't think that'll go that high. I think a lot of... Maybe we might get some information regarding that in terms of the FTX lawsuit, potentially. So we might actually see, well, what's happened, where the money went, where did it go, why did it go there. It may well find that that could be a little bit skeptical. So we'll see. But in the previous cycle as well, from 2017, there were some coins that did this and they never went to all-time high. XRP is another example of that. XRP didn't do it. So it went through the roof and then it didn't breach its all-time high. I don't know if this will, personally. It also keeps knocking off. It's really annoying. I swear every crypto project is partnered with this. Yeah, it's literally... it's like my company Learning Crypto saying, oh, we've got a partnership with AWS because we use a cloud server. We're just using their product. We're not a partner of. You know, it's absolutely mad. But no, in all fairness, and even though I do say I don't think this will go beyond its all-time high due to certain factors, you know, if we put a fib on it, and let's just add a few more levels to this fib just to give it a bit more structure, it isn't a bad play, really. Like, if you think about it, potential, like, maybe it might get to 68, maybe get to 104, maybe get 134. They're not bad levels to go, you know what, there's some decent returns here. But I wouldn't buy this, like, you know, at $8, if you were looking at it then, sweet. I mean, that's an unbelievable play. But, you know, trying to get that 10x, I don't know. I think you're better off going a little bit lower down the coin market cap spectrum and finding something a bit less mud on the walls, essentially, because I think there's a lot of sticky mud that could be a bit rough. But yeah, have they not turned so off yet? Not for a few weeks. I think they had a blockchain update not too long ago, but I think Avalanche was the most recent one that got turned off. Any personal thoughts on Chainlink? Yeah, it's shit. Personally, that's my personal thought. I think Chainlink is it's pointless. So Chainlink is, well, I say it's pointless. It is for a token. The APIs on it work, but they're all centralized. So when you look at APIs, and even when you look at the likes of CoinMarketCap and places like this, they use centralized servers and centralized situations of getting their data. I can't remember what they use, but they do use a service that MarketWatch get. I think Seek and Alpha use the exact same one as well. It's all centralized. And then we've got Chainlink that's there bimbling around. The price shows with Chainlink, and this is my personal thought on it. When we look at the BTC pair, Chainlink, right? So this will probably shock a few people. I mean, it doesn't shock my followers because I've been saying it for ages. Right, we had this big, massive boom, right? And this is September 2020. This was September 2020. The market high was here in November 2021. It just melted. It absolutely died. And I just don't think there was any utility at all for the token. It just had a hype. And the hype came from some really clever marketing, right? Clever marketing because they claimed, and they were wrong to claim it because I think they got I think they got fined for it, or something happened where they had to do like a change of the website. We were talking about cloud servers on Google, and it was on their front page, and it also like certain Swift logos as well. You don't see those logos anymore. So it's very, very clever. And this was when the DeFi world was getting up there, and what DeFi was using primarily at the time was the APIs that only Chainlink gave. But not long after that, a lot of these centralized companies started doing APIs for cryptocurrency servers because they was more reliable. That is what happened with Chainlink, essentially. So a lot of these like big, massive companies, I don't know if any OGs are around here, but all the time, you probably remember, this would spike out all the time. You'd always get your Delta or your Blockfolio, or this would go, wow, my Ethereum's worth 85 billion. Like, what the hell? It would spike out all the time, and it would usually cause carnage for exchanges. So they went centralized because the servers just ran better. And we don't really see that anymore. So it's all due to that. And, you know, if you look deep into all these like websites, if you go into like CoinGecko and you go into this, it will tell you where they get their data from within like, I think it's within like the terms of service and the policies and stuff. You will find, bear with me, it'll tell you what companies that they get the data from. There's all kinds of stuff here, but there is like website links somewhere that will tell you, right, this is where we get our API from. And I think they're all from like roughly the same places. But yeah, the tokenomics are absolutely horrible as well. There's a lot of wallets sitting there idle that could do stuff, but it's plumbing. For me, Chainlink is plumbing. It is a part of the ecosystem that we need. We need certain API data and information, but we don't need a token. Like most things, we don't need a token. There's only like, in my opinion, I think, God, what, 99% of tokens are like worthless, realistically. What other things have we got? Someone just mentioned Zill. Zill's still got a network. I've not had a look at uni fees, to be fair. Not a clue. Not a scoob. It's good info. It was all right info. But yeah, another thing that annoyed me was with Chainlink, everyone was barking on about staking, and then it became sold out within like a day. I was like, oh, lovely. What else have we got? Random Q. Anyone here use Delta? I'm wondering whether it's safe only to add my crypto API. I don't personally use APIs on anything crypto, because an API for me is the easiest way for you to get hacked. Like that's where most hacks happen, is through API sort of stuff, because of like read only and whatnot. They tend to do certain things, and sometimes if they have a lapse of security and I think, was it 3 commas recently had one, you know, people's accounts got compromised. Whoopsie daisy. But yeah. Algorand's a bit different. Algorand has a lot more going on it than Chainlink, in my opinion, because it can be used for payments. It can be used for multiple different things. I don't know which website's best, actually. But it's also a blockchain. There's a lot of things on Algorand that could be useful, whereas Chainlink isn't its own blockchain. It's just an ERC within an ecosystem. It also has some substrate elements to it as well for Polkadot, but it's not its own real blockchain. It's leveraging others. So this is its own mainnet. It's a bit different. What's my opinion on Matic? Overvalued. Personally, I think it's overvalued. I think it's standing a test of time, but like for me, like looking at layer ones, I probably wouldn't buy this. But then again, in all fairness, I don't think we've got much really to buy on. This is a fantastic thing. Like I'm annoyed with myself for like talking about this in 2019, 2020, like YouTube videos about Matic, whinging about the Indian regulation, and then all of a sudden it went through the roof. But yeah, I think it's overvalued at the minute. I don't think you're going to get... You probably will do all right with it, but it's already a $10 billion asset. It's like, are you really going to make millions? Probably not. But yeah. Yeah, I do all my transactions manually. Like, I don't... Well, I say loosely. It is loose in terms of what I put on my Delta. I don't want people fully knowing what I've got, so I don't tend to give you, you know, my information on my phone. Like I've got 2 devices, which one's for crypto, one's for using, really. So security is important. But yeah, like if I need to look at what my portfolio is really doing, I can look elsewhere. But yeah, there's no real point. Fault on Flare. Flare's crapping. Oh, there's Flare, that XRP thing that went really wrong. I was lucky with this, right? So back in, when was this, 2020? Yeah, 2020. They were doing the, you had to hold XRP to get your airdrop, right? Because it absolutely mooned, right? It went mental, right? XRP did. And I sold it. I thought, bollocks to it. And then, like, I'm so glad I did because the airdrop has been so annoying. But then again, airdrops aren't everything. I've not fully looked into like what they're actually doing, so I can't really give you a concrete thing. But the airdrop was naff, and I think airdrops are naff anyway. Most airdrops are terrible. We could see with a lot of things why, but there's definitely potential there. But it depends because the supply is huge. There's not much out there. The full dilution is 3.5 billion nearly. But yeah, it might be perfect time. They might have released this at a perfect time, but we'll see. It takes a while for a project to get off the ground, though. But there is some potential here, I think. I mean, certainly with what the offset I gives you in terms of, obviously it's an Ethereum virtual machine, layer 1 blockchain protocol, interoperable. I mean, they're all the good buzzwords. It's probably got a lot of money behind it. I don't know how much. I've not looked at it, but there's a lot of elements to this which could be decent. But thus been said, it took a long time to get to where they were, which is kind of a bit annoying, really. What else have we got? No, I don't mind XRP. I don't think it's all hype. If you've ever used I used to use XRP all the time, because it was the easiest and most efficient way to send things. It came a little bit harder, and a lot more choice also came available during that time. But from 2018, 2019, 2020, I used XRP a lot to move stuff around because it was quick, it was efficient, and it does work well. I think it gets a bad rap because of their community. The community are a bloody bunch of spadeheads, which are like, they just do stupid stuff, and it annoys me. Was it an easy decision to buy Rose recently? Yes, it was, actually. I've already knew Rose for a while. It was a part of my earner portfolio on my Patreon, where we're putting $5,000 into 5 different assets, and Rose was one of them. I was like, yeah, I know Rose. And then I started reading some threads on Twitter. I was like, oh god, yeah, that's it, easy done, bought. Thought bollocks to it. Easy. You made 7k on the airdrop. That's nice. It's good for you being a degen. Yeah, I tend to see that most people lose on airdrops. So, I mean, I did buy Arbitrium at a decent time, or Arbitrium, or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I sold it literally just above where I bought it. I was like, I don't like this. I think it's a bit weird. I mean, I think the fact of what their proposals were shady as shit. See, it's still the same price that I bought it at, but the community is just like, nah, this is a bit shit. This, I don't like this. I say this with everything though. If anyone has a token and the team start doing weird shit, just, you know, do your research again, reevaluate, because I think it's a bit, you know, it's one of those. How can I convert Polygon to XRP? Any recommendations? I don't know. If you look onto Polygon, go onto markets, it'll give you the pairs, and then you may well find, you probably won't actually. No. Sometimes you'd find like certain pairs you can just go straight into. Some exchanges will have XRP, but just, you just sell it and convert it. And, you know, you just got to do the worst way around, where you got to sell it into USD, then buy XRP with whatever you've got left. It's the only way you could do it, really. Well, I'm glad to know that my my YouTube stream and my Twitch stream have not died at the same time. It's good to see. They're both running seamlessly, which is always good. Both at the same time as well. Really clever. Thoughts on Jasmine? Not a clue what that is. Is that Chinese or Japanese or some Asian coin or whatever it is? It is, isn't it? I do not understand what this is, by the way. Not a clue, because you look at the website. I don't even know if this is... I mean, look at this. Like, for me, as a first time, hello, what's this? It's probably the worst thing I've ever seen. in terms of the website. It looks like a Word document. So bad. But I've not looked into it. Not a clue what it is. I've heard it mentioned on my Patreon quite a lot and a lot of my questions, like, what is it? And Internet of Things provider, Tokyo base. I wasn't that far off. But no, I've never really looked into it, to be fair. But the website is awful. That website is horrendous. It's got good metrics though, volume-wise. A lot of that is always what you want to see. You want to see that. If that is fully out and looking good, it's not too shabby. It's on the Ethereum blockchain though. Doesn't look very busy neither. But we'll see. I don't tend to do much research these days. I've already bought my bags, packed my bags and gone. Happy to buy, happy to sell eventually in the future, hopefully, fingers crossed. Whenever that day comes. This has got a lot of hype recently. This injective. I covered this in 2019, 2020 on my YouTube channel as well back in the day. Seems to be doing pretty damn well at the minute. Not that I'm saying you need to buy it or anything. I'm just saying it's just been doing well. It's just one of those ones that's just grew over time. Lots of things happening currently in the market space. Near protocol price in the bull run. Ooh, I might tell you that on a video soon. I want to do a price prediction video just for the banter. I want to utilize a lot of Fibonacci stuff regarding potential areas where some coins may or may not go. But for me, I think Near protocol will probably do okay due to the elements of its first proper bull cycle with network effects potentially. It came out a little bit late and it got a little bit of run, but not a massive run. Also, the whole FTX 3-hour element dumped it lower, so we probably weeded out some weekends, hopefully. With unemployment down, do you think the rate will hike again? I think the rate will stay the same. I think 25 base points are probably the same. It depends on the inflation data on the 12th. If the inflation rate is good, probably continue with 25, and the continued high rates for longer is still going to happen. I don't think there'll be many more though. I think a couple more, then maybe they may turn and change. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah. Dr. Pepper or Dr. Pepper all day. I can't drink much fizzy drinks though because I burp a lot, so I get very gassy. I'm not fun to be around when I've had Dr. Pepper. I just make a noise a lot. Well, I'm going to love you and leave you. This was a little test to see if my Twitch stream would handle up and also if YouTube would run at the same time, and they do. I'm pretty happy with the setup. But yeah, we'll see how the data goes next week. Have a great Easter, everyone. Yeah, everyone celebrates Easter in different ways. But yeah, enjoy it. Have fun with family and whatnot. So yeah.